Welcome to Rockstars, a podcast with me, your host, Luke Bardsley, today, joined by his boys, Rosellas. How are we, boys?
Not good, mate.
Yeah, doing all right.
Mate, thank you for letting me come down. So I've come down to your, rehearsal studio space, call it?
Yeah, this is our, where we come and, rehearse and create a vibe in a...
Create a vibe.
It stinks as well.
If there's one way I would describe it, is a vibe. It is.
Look at these random things. And that. And there's all helmets and stuff and masks.
So who's designed this? Is this just you bringing random stuff, or is this already here?
No, it was like this when we came. If you look up there, you can't see it on the camera. But
there's literally a skeleton, just randomly, and it's above a toilet.
Yeah, it's mad.
It is mad, but I suppose it gets you creative genes sort of flowing.
Me off.
Constantly looking around.
Yeah.
So just, I think you've already been interviewed by Dan before and talked tonight, but do you want to introduce a little bit sort of about Rosellas in the band?
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
Well, we started in 2019.
Yeah.
In and around Manchester, we just started gigging loads. That's how we first started. We've got loads on Spotify now.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Is it like
slowed us down a bit.
5k like monthly listeners, something like that?
Something
5.5k?
like that, yeah. I think we've got loads of releases. I was talking to Drew about this the other day. The problem is now, it's so easy to release. So we've got this tune, we'll record it in his room and put it out. So there's 40 songs of ours on Spotify.
Yeah.
Whereas in days gone by, you wouldn't have...
You're always professional. You had to go to a recording studio, didn't you, to do it? Whereas now you can just do it from home.
You get it printed and everything, and now
Yeah.
it's just press the button and get it out there, so it's easy.
Yeah, but we need to start taking some stuff off, I think.
It's getting crowded.
Yeah.
You do see bands getting to that stage, or when it gets to the first and second album stage, you'll see a load of pre-releases. I know the Snuts have done it kind of recently.
Yeah.
I've just seen a load of songs just go, and I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Might make sense.
I think we'll definitely have to do that.
We don't want to lose them completely, but it's about tidying up the Spotify page.
If you look at other bands of our level, there's 3 songs on it. And,
Yeah.
They're the singles and everything's about the single. But because there's 2 songwriters in our band, so me and Drew, we write twice as much as other bands.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got loads of songs, and rather than saving them, we just think, just put them out. But yeah, it's at the point now where there's loads of different versions of all the songs on it, and we need to take some off, I think.
Shows a passion for it, though, I suppose, as well. It's being constantly wanting to release new songs. It gets you excited, doesn't it?
That's the thing. Yeah. And it's prolific, I suppose is the word. And it's good releasing because you get excited about it.
Yeah,
and if you do it constantly, then it always gives something for people to listen to.
No, yeah, especially when you look at the radios, because you've been played by quite a few. Because you were XS's 20 to 23. One of the bands to watch, weren't you? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we've been on Radio X, Access Manchester, Wythenshawe FM. She loves
a few times, yeah. She's into it.
That was our first ever interview.
Nice.
She loves it. She's always.
I like how you said Radio X and SS Mansion. Just Radio X. But Wythenshawe FM. That's the one we want.
She's called Victoria. She's a really nice woman. She gave us our first interview.
Nice.
On the it goes out on Wythenshawe FM, and obviously we're like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And she's kept in touch with us ever since. She always comes to our gigs and she always playing our tunes. So that sort of thing, it means a bit more. But Radio X, obviously it's brilliant being on Radio X, but we're on at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's no one's really listening to that. Although it's good to say you've done it. We want to be on in the day.
But through that, we spoke to John Kennedy a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
From Radio X, who's a good guy.
Yeah, he's
and we
nice
did it.
guy.
He put a gig on in London with us and another band called The Native.
Oh, nice.
Just us 2 playing. It was what was it? John Kennedy's Remedy.
Remedy, yeah.
His little showcase thing. So it's been good.
Yeah, that
and then he's played us again since then, so he must have liked it.
Yeah, no, you never know, do you? Where. Who's going to be listening there? Because especially when you get put on a gig like that, you don't know who's going to be in the audience.
Yeah,
you have 4 agents or.
Yeah. It wasn't a massive gig, but it was quite a cool. It was quite cool. There was some. There's a lot of people there who obviously we didn't know any of them, and a lot of people came up to us after and said, "Oh, you're brilliant." So playing in London's, you don't really get that. We never really get that for our own gigs, so that was really good. So hopefully he puts on another one if he's listening to this.
Especially because you're all from Manchester, aren't you? Greater Manchester.
Apart from Mark, the drummer, is from Leicester.
He's from Leicester.
Yeah.
So how did you all kind of like meet and come together then? Because I saw a news report that didn't two of you meet on a train?
Yeah, so me and Drew met on a train.
So niche.
I know. Well, it was quite a cool story actually. So we went to the same Blossoms gig.
Which one?
I can't remember.
Edgeley Park, that one?
No, it was before that. It was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember where it was.
Probably
Something like that. And we were on the train back, and I was like, one of my mates knew one of his mates.
Yes, yeah.
So me and Drew got chatting. I thought he's pretty cool. He's into his music, and he said, I'm writing my own songs, sort of thing. And I was like, oh, send me them, yeah. And he was like, oh no, I can't. You'll share them. You'll share out. And I was like, fucking hell, he's a bit serious. Anyway, and I said, I play the guitar, and I said, we should jam together. And he was like, yeah, give me your number. And then gave me his number, and I forgot about it. And then the next day I woke up and he's called me. I was like, who the fuck's that? Like, look, he says, hi mate, it's true. Do you want to still up for a jam? And then from there we just started, writing together and playing together, and we did our first gig a year later, probably. So it was a long time in the making. But you were in Drew's year at school, weren't you?
Oh, so you came in via Drew then?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I went to high school with him, and then he pretty much just asked if I wanted to join in. I was in another band in high school. We stopped, just all went to uni or whatever, and then he just said, do you fancy coming in and just playing together? It was kind of like loose at the beginning. And
natural, it sounds like a natural sort of process.
It wasn't like, I wasn't thinking, this is it, do you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna be, I thought...
next Blossoms here we go, we're in.
I know. Well, what was mad about it was Blossoms were at our first gig.
Really?
At Night and Day, just by chance.
Yeah.
Just wandered in. So it sort of came full circle.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? And it was, like, that was probably the most nervous I've ever been, because you're like, fuck me. Like,
did you see him before you went on stage?
Yeah.
Oh, even worse.
Just sat at the back, yeah.
They came in, and I said to him, like, Blossoms were here, and he just went white, and he was like, oh no, right, we're going to have to be good,
That adds pressure on it.
There to watch us, like.
Yeah. Well, no, they hadn't come to see us, we were just there. It was at Night and Day.
Mm-hmm. In Manchester, yeah.
On Oldham Street. And Drew knew Luis from, I don't know what it was, he played with him before.
It was that Band on the Wall, I think.
So, yeah.
There was like a music.
Band on the Wall do like jams, don't they, all the time?
Yeah,
they do like open mics quite a bit, don't
like they? And then we had another drummer, a guy called Frank, who they knew from school, and he wasn't that into it. He never used to come to rehearsals. We once had a gig at what was it, off the square?
Was it Castle?
And Castle.
Twice.
And he was like, on the day, I'm not playing. Like, he didn't know any of the songs. He was like, I'm not playing. So we're like, we're gonna have to do it without a drummer. And then you're playing, and you look out, and he's in the crowd. And we're just like, he's taking the piss.
What are you doing here?
yeah. And then, so we got Mark. Luis knew Mark. He goes to our NCM. In Manchester. We got Mark in, and the whole thing just went up another level, because Mark's brilliant. He's such a good drummer, and it made us all be like, right, we're gonna have to match him, sort of thing. So that was like 2020. Mark came in just before COVID.
Oh, and then COVID just stunted a lot of.
Yeah.
How did you, as a band, did you find COVID? Were you?
I loved it. I thought it was quite easy.
we grew quite a lot in terms of like social media, because that's all we could do.
Oh,
so
I suppose.
Releasing as well.
Yeah.
So that's probably partly why we've got so much on Spotify as well, because we're releasing through that, and then hitting the socials hard, because obviously we couldn't gig, and all we'd done before then was gig constantly.
Yeah, it came at a good time for us, because we weren't big. We didn't really have any momentum behind us. We used to gig in Manchester all the time, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I think we've done one gig in Leeds, and then one in Sheffield. So we hadn't like toured or anything like that. And then in lockdown, I wrote loads. So all the songs that are coming out now, since COVID to now, I wrote in lockdown. And it helped me as a songwriter get better quicker. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think the songs wouldn't be as good had it not been for lockdown.
You hear them stories quite frequently now, though, don't you? Like, the stories are so common because there's nothing else to do, was there? Like, everyone just twiddling their thumbs, doing nothing. You kind of have to hone your skills, don't you? Because it's a natural thing to do.
Yeah, and it's mad because a few of my mates were in bands and they all packed it in lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, we can't gig, there's no point. But I think we went the other way.
Well, I don't think we ever even had that thought, to be honest.
No. It was... that was never going to happen to us. But we used that, other people sacking it off, to be like, well, when it opens up again...
That's my motivation to go there,
we've got to be on it, and we're going to have to come out fighting, which, to be fair, we did. and we grew a lot in lockdown and then after it, because we were sort of preparing for it. Do you know what I mean? So we were
well, people were ready to get out again, weren't they? So when we did have gigs, it was like people really wanted to come.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah. So. I've seen some bands. I was like, yeah. Like that's how I found the Snuts. Literally, it was like they did like a gig at the Academy for like 20 quid, and I was like, well, 20 quid. They're a band that I know half of one song.
Yeah.
I know like 4 lines to Glasgow. So I mean, I'll turn it down. And ever since then, like, I've now seen them in 4 different cities, and I'm like a favourite band. So it helps, doesn't it? Like, because a lot of people I find when I speak to, they're scared of going to see a new band, and I'm like, why? Like people are like, oh, I'm not going to see them. I don't know any songs.
Yeah.
But
well, that's how
you will learn a song.
That's the thing, innit? The worst you're going to get out of it is you enjoy your night. If you go thinking it's going to be shit, then it probably is.
Yeah.
So.
There's no point going. If you think you're just going, like, you don't. So I went to a gig last night in King's Arms in Salford.
Yeah.
One of my mates was playing just an acoustic thing. I went with my brother, and he was like, I don't know any of his songs. And I was like, yeah, neither do I. It's like, it'll be good, we'll have a good time. And he was like, oh, I'm not sure. And I said, oh, it's the pub they filmed Fresh Meeting. And he was like, yeah, all right, I'll come.
Good way.
Yeah.
That would work with me as well.
Yeah,
You said that to me, I'd be like, straight away.
And then he was like going, oh, it's here, look at these walls. And then we went to the gig and he was dead good. And, it's just, going to gigs is brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's the best, because we were talking about football before, we're all big football fans. If I had a gig clashing with a football game, I'd be more inclined to go to the gig.
You do both.
Yeah, well, you do go both, but if it's just because obviously now it's Saturday 8 o'clock kickoffs, a gig, I think going to sing live music is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, sort of people listen to the podcast and stuff. It just shows, doesn't it, how many people love listening to live music.
Yeah, well, we've been getting about recently as well, trying to look at people, because since we trying to find supports for Band on the Wall, we wanted to make an effort and go get out and see them, as well as just sort of like looking at how many followers they've got or whatever, or they can play us, or what gigs have they got.
You need to sort of feel the band,
and see them as well.
That's the thing. I think a lot of, you're right with the followers thing, a lot of people pick the support on how many followers they've got.
It's ticket sales, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's becoming less and less about how good they are. And we went to see Lizzie Taylor, and she was brilliant, and it was like, yeah, definitely.
Where did you see her then? Did you see her first in Manchester?
Deaf Institute it was. She was supporting.
Oh, nice.
Supporting an American band that were touring here. So yeah, she was really good.
Yeah,
she was really good, and we got to meet her there.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying like a message through, there's no like personal.
No bond there, is there?
That's the thing. And you want, you want your gig, so Band on the Wall, you want it to be as good as it can be the whole night, not just, us playing and whoever's on before, it don't matter. You want the whole night to be brilliant. And, something that we have tried to do from the start is, support the support bands and support other bands. And when you go out and pick them yourself on how good they are, it just has more of a,
personal connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than just getting someone else to pick it on, TikTok numbers and Spotify numbers and whatever and likes, because then they might be rubbish.
They might be, yeah. Because you never know, do you? Because you look at some of the TikTok people and they're like, I've seen some people might even freeze on stage. The first time I played on the stage, you don't know that, do you?
Yeah.
Like it's a big risk, whereas it's not a risk for you now because you've seen them live, you know what they're like.
No, good. Yeah, exactly.
We did refer to Band on the Wall there, so that's your new headline show. It's up and coming, isn't it?
Yes, it's on September the 1st, Friday. It's not quite sold out yet, so.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's close.
Yeah.
We've got about 50 tickets to go.
It's an iconic venue as well, Band on the Wall. It is iconic. Everyone's been Band on the Wall once.
And they've just had it redone as well, so it's got better.
Oh, nice.
We
I've
played
not
it
been in years.
ages ago.
We did. That's a bit of a... Yeah, we got chucked out.
We played a bit long, but it's been redone since then, and it's just got even better. So it's been, the stage is bigger, the venue itself is a bit bigger, it looks better.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like got like a bit of a theatre vibe to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to play as well. I bet it's fun to play them sort of.
So I went to see Blossoms when they did their album launch. It was only about a year ago when it just reopened, and I was like, "But it'd be sick to play here." And then we were going to play there when we played at Manchester Academy 3. We were going to do Band on the Wall, but we couldn't get the date. So for the next one, I was like, make sure it's right there.
Yeah.
So we were buzzing when we got it. So Hopefully it sells out.
What happens with because speaking of set lists for gigs that are as big as this, this is your biggest headline show today.
Yeah.
So how does the set list sort of process go through you? Have you got a guaranteed set list right now? Is it ever changing before a gig, or
we
lock it in so far in advance, so it can be
practice
nailed down
it.
by the time we get there, kind of thing.
So is that sort of like a 4-week period, 6-week, 8-week, or
we've done it? It's done now, so it's a month now. We've pretty much done it, because what we do is we'll fill the gaps. So we don't just do tune.
Oh yeah, you need to.
We have
Is that mainly and then do you have Drew? Does he get a certain part? To obviously 3 singers.
Yeah, so we'll have in the set introduce the song, and then 2 where you don't say anything, and then 1 where you say thanks for coming, whatever.
Yeah.
2 more. We sort of plan it that way rather than going right on the day right. These are the songs we're playing, because then it sounds a bit messy,
stressful as well, innit?
Yeah,
it adds unnecessary stress.
And that's one of the things we learnt off. There's an Australian band called Planet, who we went on tour with last year, and they were dead on it with the set list, because we didn't even used to have one in front of us. You just have to remember it, and that might seem like an obvious thing, but they were all interlude, then all the songs, and it was in front of all of them.
Oh, so you stick it to the back of the speakers, yeah?
We had to put it on the floor.
Put it on the floor, yeah.
But we do take that it's a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest with you, but we do take it seriously, because we fill the gaps in the songs.
Yeah.
And it becomes more of a show. It's like the whole gig is one song. Do you know what I mean? Rather than
blending it together and stuff. Yeah. And it makes it different slightly to what you would hear on Spotify as well. So it means you're hearing something different in person rather than just the record.
I feel like that's happening quite frequently with bands nowadays as well, because I've just, speaking about the Snuts again, I've just watched a load of TikTok clips from the Glasgow, the shows he did in Glasgow, and I've seen him 4 times, and I was like, I've never seen him do that.
Yeah.
I've seen that song, but I've never seen him do that.
Yeah.
So does it make it special? Did you try and throw different sort of quirks and different interludes in there to try and make every show different?
Not every. We do it for us more than anything, because it gets a bit boring. Because if you're gigging all the time, it gets a bit boring.
You're saying you rehearse every week, don't you?
Yeah.
That's probably more what we get out of doing here. Is they're the bits we come up with, and we can be more experimental with. We spend time thinking of little intros and bits and how to link songs together, and that's why it's good to have this space where we can come together and think of those ideas
and just vibe.
Yeah. Just vibe, bro.
It is good, and it's something that we enjoy a lot as the band. Because Luis, the keyboard player, is unbelievable. So it sort of gives him a platform to go and do what you want. And not a lot of bands do that. Not a lot of bands have got a keyboard player, and not a lot of them give him the what's called the limelight.
Yeah, of course. Just give him free rein, let you do whatever you want to do in this little.
And he creates soundscape things, mad noises that he's playing, and it's really, when we're on stage, it always sounds really cool. So I think we all really enjoyed doing that.
What about in your set list as well? So there's obviously, whenever you have a big sort of event, there's new singles and different sort of unreleased tracks as well. Do you, when you're trying to bring them in, do you put them in a certain place in a set, or how does that work?
It's normally third, isn't it? They only play it third, because then if it bombs, it doesn't matter. Everyone forgets about it. Because no one, you want people to be singing at the end. Do you know what I mean? So all the ones that people sing, you put them at the end.
I think you think of it more as a whole, how it's going to flow as one as well, because it's so it kind of depends on the song.
It's an album, really, don't you? It's a live album.
You want the newer stuff. It never really does that well live in terms of people singing it. Obviously, people will be sort of enjoying it, but they won't be singing it.
We tend to play quite a lot of unreleased stuff as well, so it's no one's going to be singing that because they've not heard it before. So.
Is there some unreleased stuff in there?
Yeah.
Nice, so we're going to be hearing some new songs.
Well, there's quite a lot, to be honest. There's quite a lot of unreleased stuff that will be out at some point. But it's just, we've just always done it like that, because it's, if you only play the songs that are out, it gets a bit boring.
It does, yeah.
And at a show like this, we've got the time to do it as well. We're not confined to half an hour where you've got to play 5 bangers and that's all you've got time for.
Yeah.
We can add that in this length set, so it is a lot better for us to play as well.
Yeah. Of course it is, because it keeps it fresh, and it also keeps the audience waiting for more. When I ever hear a new song, I always think, well, it's good now. Imagine what it's going to be like next year when everyone knows it.
Yeah.
That's the way you look forward to it,
that's
especially as a fan of a band.
Yeah. It is, man. I tell you what is, man, is when people sing songs that aren't out. That's weird.
Does it make you feel a bit like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, how do you know this? Like,
Is it like a you made it moment? Have you have you had a you made it moment yet? Where you
my first gig when Blossoms were there.
Yeah, as soon as that you were like, whoa.
Yeah, that first gig, that was me done. Played to Blossoms, that's it.
I've peaked, I'm happy.
Yeah,
we're happy here.
Yeah, that was it. Don't know, have you?
Well, not really.
No.
Not made it yet, have we?
No.
I like that though. So it's always you're looking for that. So have you got like a list of venues that are on there that you're like, I really want to play this, like past band on the wall?
The MEN's the top one, or what's it called now? AO Arena.
Yeah.
That's the one that we've always been sort of obsessed with doing.
Probably the Ritz as well.
Oh, the Ritz is iconic.
We played the Ritz supporting Star Sailor.
Oh, nice.
Did a tour with them, but I think if we went back and headlined it ourselves,
that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Stage is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's when it's just such a cool venue as well.
Yeah. So I wanted to end on a few sort of like hypothetical questions as well, just to sort of see your answers. So I always like to know, festivals or gigs, which do you prefer to play at?
That's a good question. Gigs probably, but I do love playing festivals. I don't know actually, maybe festivals. I don't know. What do you think?
I think probably gigs.
Do you think?
Probably prefer going to festivals, but playing, I think gigs.
But we've never done a bad festival.
Nice. What festivals have you done?
We've done Truck, Why Not?
Nice.
Isle of Wight.
Isle of Wight twice.
They're like the major ones, aren't they?
Yeah, what else?
Did like Askin.
Askin, that's cool. Have you heard of Askin?
No, I haven't.
That's really cool.
That's not far from me, because I'm from Glossop, so that's not far from me.
Yeah, it's all right. They always have like really cool people on. So we played last year, and Lightning Seeds were on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
we've done
flying Lightning Seeds at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's also like the multi-venue ones as well. They're the ones we've missed. They're like
like
when they're sort of spread around the city, kind of like the one in Liverpool.
Sound City.
Yeah,
that was cool. EBGBs, yeah. So I don't know. I probably have to go off that. We've never done a bad festival gig.
Yeah.
So I probably have to say festivals.
Festivals are the best there. And who are the worst acts to follow? As in, like they're that good, you would hate to follow them straight away. Yeah. Love that.
I don't know. No, we don't really fear anyone. Like in that one, that sounds a bit like a boxer. But we've never done a gig and thought, oh God, we're not going to be able to do.
Yeah.
You know, I think we'd stand up against pretty much anyone. So no one.
Nice, I like that. Because then it gives you open to... Because there's a few bands out there that I've heard your interviews and they're a bit like, we wouldn't pick that gig because that headliner would up there. But like, just get on there. You never know, do you? Because you never know. You might...
Well, if you think like that and you think you're rubbish, then what's the point? Because no one else is going to think you're any good.
I've seen supports out... Well, I paid literally so much money to see a main gig, and then I've seen a support board. My biggest one for me was Jerry Cinnamon in Leeds. Yeah. And I just watched Jerry Cinnamon support Cortinas, and he was just blew him out the water. And I was like, this is mental.
Yeah. But you want all the bands to be as best as they can be anyway.
Yeah,
so why would you drop out because you don't think you're good enough? Or
I could never imagine doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could never imagine doing that. And the other thing is, I mean, it's not really related, but bands who aren't ready for gigs. So we've had a few where we've offered them a gig and they've gone, oh, we're not ready yet. It's like, what do you mean you're not ready?
Jump on.
Just do it, yeah.
4 songs.
Yeah, like, you know, how can you not be ready? Like, if you want to do it, you've got to be always ready to gig at the drop of a hat. And, like, you know.
Do you have, like, an emergency set list, which is like, if you got offered a gig, say, for example, you're free on a Saturday, and I'm like, right, I'm playing here, can you support me? Have you got, like, an emergency sort of big
cobble one together?
I
think they're all the tunes are well rehearsed enough that we'd be able to comfortably do it,
Nice. And then, so you said what festivals you have done. What festivals are on there that you want to do? Any sort of like overseas festivals
Leeds.
or
Leeds?
Leeds?
Play Leeds, yeah, because I went to Leeds when I was like 16. I've always wanted to. I always said like I'll go back when I play there, but it's getting to a point where it's like
nice.
You know, it's ticking out. So I've always wanted to do Leeds. Obviously Glastonbury as well.
It's the iconic one, isn't it?
Yeah,
cliche, but everyone wants to do it.
What festivals like Benny and like
that would
overseas?
Be good. Yeah, that would be good.
They're cool, aren't they? Just totally different to what's here.
Yeah, Benny Scene would be good. Yeah, probably. There you go. Them three. Yeah.
Nice. And then sort of like, so say if you were having like a dream festival.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 acts who they want you to put a stage on for, just stage these 3 acts. Are you going to go all indie acts or are you going to...
Dead or alive?
We'll go alive.
Right.
We'll go live.
Okay.
Just because if it's dead, I think it makes it a bit easier. There's a lot of icons.
Yeah. We'll go on last.
Yeah. So you're headlining. You're picking 3.
Okay.
You're picking 3.
War on drugs would be cool. I don't know. I'm trying to make it a bit different. What do you think?
I don't know. Pastel would be pretty
Pastel
cool.
would be cool.
Oh, Pastel would be cool.
Yeah.
They're local lads as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Pastel would be cool. Is it like unrealistic? Is it unrealistic or people we could realistically get?
Whoever you want.
Anyone. Right?
Anyone who's alive. This is testing your Spotify, yes. Like, who's on your Spotify are you listening to?
Well, most of them are dead, that's the problem.
Is that your biggest sort of inspirations then? Sort of
people
like.
are dead. Yeah, they have to be dead.
They have to be dead.
Yeah.
So is it like, who are the bands are you sort of always looking up to? Like Beatles? Is it them sort of bands?
I mean, it's the obvious ones, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a bit boring when you know, the Beatles, Oasis and all that. I'm really into a band called Shack from Liverpool. A guy, Michael Head, if you've heard of him. We're all really into War on Drugs. Neil Young, Bob Dylan, people like that. I'm trying to think of this third person. Who else could be on it? I think we should get a girl on, or a female.
Lizzie Taylor.
Lizzie Taylor.
Yeah.
She's gonna be buzzing with this. She's got so many shout outs. She's gonna be absolutely buzzing. Well, I'm for one. I'm gonna be a band as well. I'm excited for the gig. I think it's gonna be a really good gig as well.
Yeah.
And then there's a new single on the pipeline as well.
Yeah, so we have got a new single coming out that we'll be playing at Band on the Wall.
Nice.
It'll hopefully be out end of September, start of October. We're gonna start promoing it soon, so we'll get the date. It'll be start of October latest. I would have thought.
Check out all the socials as well.
Yeah.
Just out all your socials as well, so people know how to find you.
Yeah, I think we're...
At Rosellas Band on Twitter.
Yeah, Rosellas Band or Rosellas.band on everything.
You'll be able to find you. We've got quite...
Yeah.
There's not many Rosellas knocking around in the band world. Well, thank you very much for listening and watching as well. If you're on Spotify, give us a 5-star review, please. It really does help push the podcast out. If you're on YouTube, like, comment and subscribe as always. Show Rosellas some love as well. And if you are available on the 1st September, get down, join me. Yeah. And the ticket link will be in the description as well. I'll make sure Dan puts it in there as well.
Cool.
And follow all Rockstar socials in the description as well. Cheers, boys.
Nice one. Thanks for having us.